The first contestant, Sabitha of Government Homoeopathy Medical College Bangalore.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Of all the systems of medicine, homeopathy is arguably the most controversial one. Though it has a faithful following and ever-increasing popularity, we still are not able to gain the complete acceptance of our brothers from the contemporary system of medicine. And this is probably because we do not have an overall theory to explain as to how our remedies work. And there have been several attempts in this field, so let's now have a brief overview as to what these theories are. The first one is quantum mechanics. In simple terms, quantum mechanics states that every particle of matter has an electromagnetic field around it, as in it has wave motion and it has a particular frequency. So what we do in homeopathy is we have dynamic medicines which have a particular frequency. When an individual is sick, his electromagnetic field is affected, and the homeopathic medicine, which also has its own frequency, if it is a similar medicine, that is, it will have the same frequency as a sick person, these both entities come together and there is a resonance phenomenon that occurs, and that's how cure takes place. Now, this theory is very feasible to explain as to how our energy remedies work, but we cannot prove it to the skeptics since it's a metaphysical phenomenon. The next theory is a water memory theory which was discovered by Dr. Beneviste when he was experimenting in his immunological research. Anti-immunoglobulin E, when it comes in contact with the WBC or the basophil, which has granules of histamine inside the cytoplasm, when these two come together, histamine is released. He noticed that when this anti-immunoglobulin E serial dilutions are used, the same reaction continued, and when he reduced it to such dilutions that there was no trace of anti-immunoglobulin E, the reaction continued. So he concluded that probably the dilution contained or retained the memory of the substance it had previously come in contact with. This was very happily accepted by most of the homeopaths, but then they later on realized that in homeopathy we actually see a lateral inversion of the reaction, as in a substance which is poisonous actually becomes inert or curative, or an inert substance or a substance which actually suppresses actually becomes stimulative. Now this backdraw is actually proved or satisfied by the next law, that is the Arnschul's law. Surprisingly, this law was discovered way back in 1870, and it's present or it graces most of the pages of the pharmacological books of our contemporary system of medicine brothers, but still it has not gained the popularity that actually deserved. This theory is actually based on the biphasic response of drugs, as in large doses of drugs kill, medium doses paralyzes, and minimum dose stimulates. Surprisingly, this was accepted and used in their system of medicine, but they never realized the value that it held. Please wait. Okay, now the good news is that this particular theory can actually be proved clinically. The most commonest anticoagulant, aspirin, prevents blood clotting, right, in the physiological doses. But in minimum doses, this was discovered by a French hematologist, it actually stimulates blood clotting. So here we see, dear friends, an exact opposite effect. That is what we observe in homeopathy, right? Now the only thing that we have to do a little further research, as in the Arnschul's law, probably so that we can get a theory of our own, is that to discover how exactly our ultramolecular dilutions work, and also the effect of potentization, succussion in energy medicines, or in making the medicines more powerful. Please go to the previous slide. These are the points which we have to consider when we are formulating a theory. The most important thing is it has to be adaptable in daily practice. The next one is to show that how the medicine actually enters the organism and causes cure. The third one is should be truth, simple and testable. The fourth is it should be verifiable in future research. The fifth is that it should facilitate systemization of ongoing clinical experience. The next slide, please. Almost 210 years ago, Dr. Hahnemann has formulated his 269th aphorism in the 6th edition, which surprisingly holds true even today. Though we should develop a new perspective and probably have further research. In simple words, he's actually stated how just by two processes, that is trituration and succussion, a substance which is so inert is made into a curative medicine to encompass cure. And the next slide. So we have a lot of work to do, dear friends. We are on the doorstep of a new big breakthrough, and as I've already said in the first slide, homeopathy certainly is a new dimension of science. So let's not waste time, let's all get to work, and happy thinking. Thank you.
I request Professor Dr. Munir Ahmed to present a memento to Ms. Sabitha.